question to you is, when you were growing up in this family, how was your experience? I see your videos a lot, but if you could just sum it up, like, how was your overall experience?
I love my adoptive mother to death. Okay, like
Oh,
she is one of my best friends. We talk about my videos. Um, Everything that I say on TikTok has been ran through my adoptive mother before
oh
I ever
wow.
even posted. Sorry about that. And sorry, my phone keeps connecting to my thing. I do that because I want to always remain respectful. Like, she asked me a couple weeks ago, when are you going to write your book? And I was like, when you die. And she
Oh
was like,
wow.
why? And I was like, because I want you to die believing you are a good person. And if I tell you some of the things that are going to be said in my book, you might not believe you're a good person anymore. And I don't want that for you. Um,
Oh, I
I love you.
understand.
I love you too much, but that doesn't mean there wasn't like oversight
Right.
in certain situations. And we've talked
Understand.
about all of.
Are you, from your picture, I'm assuming that you're light complexion. Was your adoptive mother of darker complexion?
Yeah, so I am white, and my adoptive mother adopted me, and she was black.
Ah, okay. Um, it's interesting to hear that you like your adoptive mom, but at the same time, you still have some things that, if you were to verbalize them, that it would sound negative to them, or that maybe you feel like it would change the way your relationship is with your adoptive mom. And so my question is, um, do you feel like, um, you don't have a voice as an adoptee?
I don't want to say I know I have a voice as an adoptee. There's actually a lot of like stuff going on about me talking about my adoption experience right now, currently the past few days. But I absolutely have a voice in this community. I just think that I am such a small part of it that I never want to step on the toes or overspeak the majority of this community, if that makes sense. Like, my experience is not one that happens very often. And the general
Yes.
problems within the transracial adoptee community, as far as the, hold on one second. Can you stop? 1 second. Sorry, my daughter's crying.
No problem. Oh, it's nice that you have a family of your own now. For me, I don't feel like I have a voice. That maybe not that I don't have a voice, that I can be honest about my experiences. Um, because my adoptive parents are still alive. It's similar to the way you feel, and so to me, I feel like I'll only be able to be truly honest about all of my experiences once my adoptive parents are gone.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like that more so because there are situations that we were put in, and with her being an older woman, also, um, she wasn't always there, like present. And so there were things that happened inside of her household that never should have happened. And if she wasn't prepared to be present, then she shouldn't have adopted three children. And so
Yes.
there are certain things where it's like, if you are going to choose to bring any child into your home, you have to accept the responsibility for that child. If that
yeah,
child chops off its hand, you're responsible. If that child runs out in the middle of the street and gets hit by a car, you're responsible.
Right.
So when I say that I don't want to talk to her about it, it's because, like, the version of her that I know right now, the person who has apologized, the person who has spoken to me about a lot of the things in my life that bothered me, the few things that I'm not going to tell her are not going to change our relationship.
That's good. At least she has been apologetic about your
Oh, it took so
experiences.
long.
Yeah,
Ooh.
bless your heart, bless your heart. Look, Olivia, I'm 36 years old and I had to cut contact off with my adopted family because I'm gonna tell y'all my story how I started to come out of the fog, and what is her name? The outspoken adoptee. I don't even know her real name, but we follow each other, and she's enlightened me on so many things. Like, I think she's the first person I found that really opened my eyes when I started coming out the fog. And she refers to the fog as fear, obligation, and guilt. So I was in fear for many years with speaking out against like the atrocities, and I'm sorry to use these big old words, but the atrocities, the despair, the agony, the obligation of feeling, obligated
The pain,
to
the resentment,
God, just for the sake of selling babies. Wow.
It happens all the time. I mean, it's an industry, it's a business, and sometimes if they can't find people to give the children voluntarily, they will go steal them.
Yeah, and it's common with like Mexico, with Central and South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it so
Did you find
needless to say, their records were like the whole thing was really shady.
My story is crazy, and just really not understanding the adoption industry. I learned so much from the outspoken adoptee. I think she was probably the first person I found when I started going on this journey of learning about the different ways and methods of how this doggone industry has become so big. It is so sad what they do to us as adoptees. It's truly sad.
I mean, the outspoken adoptee is kind of annoying, but
she has every right to be annoying. She has every single right.
You weren't saying that when you were loving on me on the couch.
Oh!
Shh, don't tell people. No.
She took care of me. What was it? The second to last week of October.
Bless your heart, Jacqueline. Bless your heart.
Really, I feel like it's kind of like saying that is like really, really generous, because I feel like I just kind of chilled on the couch with her for like a week, and she just kind of let me crash. Like,
is Jacqueline and Outspoken in the same area?
No. I flew to Arizona.
Oh, bless your heart.
Oh, that's so sweet.
This is why hopefully, at the end, community can become something very important to us, because, for a lot of us, we don't have family. And I was having surgery on the 21st of October, and things kind of got changed around. And in a desperate plea for somebody to come care for me, Jacqueline was able to fly out.
Bless your heart, Jacqueline. That is so sweet of you, for real.
Well, and I was really fortunate because, like, my adoptive parents, they're very like, in order to be good adoptive parents, you have to care about all adoptees.
Right.
And my dad had his own business, and so he has like a lot of miles and stuff. So I just basically was like, can I use your miles and like have tickets? And they were like, sure. And
thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you.
They're very like, in order to be good adoptive parents, you have to care about all adoptees.
Right.
And my dad had his own business, and so he has like a lot of miles and stuff. So I just basically was like, can I use your miles and like have tickets? And they were like, sure. And
thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you guys here in this space and to hear this story. We really need to be there for each other. And I was looking online, and they said there's a good 10 million of us. And so if we can grow a big community and support each other, be there to provide for each other, so that we don't have to be the downtrodden, the ones that are alone and things like that, I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. Sorry, Jacqueline, I think I interrupted you a little bit, so go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I definitely agree. It's like this is so, okay, this is like TMI, but like I was telling like Desiree, like when I hung out at her house, like I was so comfortable there. Like even when I go to my parents' house, like be like chill. And like with Desiree, I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna hang. Like I'm just gonna be like like, and it was just like it was really like cathartic in a way because it was like
It was healing. It was so healing because we were so comfortable within seconds. It's
yes.
like an unspoken bond that we don't have to explain certain aspects of our story. We don't have to explain to people why we do or do not talk to our birth or adoptive parents. We just kind of know, you just kind of innately know. And so to have her, go pick her up at the airport and everything and have her stay in my home, it was like we had been roommates.
Yeah, like it felt like like it was weirdly comfortable. Like it was
Yeah. I mean, when I say we were like arm in arm on my, and it was healing. It was healing to have fellow adoptees that came and could care for me after my surgery. And Jacqueline was a crazy, what would I even say? Like you were perfect as far as like in the hospital, making sure that they were on top of their game and asking all the right questions. And
I come across
beautiful.
like weird. Like for some reason I'm weirdly intimidating to like medical staff. And so I kind of felt bad for the doctor because she was like, okay, we couldn't do this, but we did this. We did that. Like, and I was like, I'm not going to like yell at you.
This is so amazing for me. I made a comment under Outspoken's page, and in about 2 weeks, I need to go get a procedure done for scoliosis and cervical spina bifida, and I don't have my family to be there for me. And so that speaks a lot to me about what we can do for each other within our community.
Absolutely. Because it's hard. It really is hard. I don't think the vast majority of society understands losing your biological family, but then also losing everyone in your adoptive family and going through medical issues and crises. I ended up having to go back to the hospital, to the ER Sunday night, and ended up in surgery again on Monday. I went into surgery alone. I came out of surgery alone, and I had to Uber 45 minutes home from the hospital on the Thursday when they released me, because this is what happens when you just don't have people readily available for you. My goal here in Arizona is to create some type of adoptee space where we can have access to each other in that way to support each other going through issues like that.
Well, and then like that, like I was panicking because I'd gotten used to talking to Desiree like all the time. And so then once she stopped talking to me, I was like, okay, her phone died. So like I called the hospital and was like, get me to this patient. And then like I'm just like over the top on things. Like I'm excessive. And so then I'm like texting her son like, okay, I'm gonna make sure she gets a charger. And like
oh yeah, I wasn't prepared at all to go to the hospital. I had nothing with me, no phone charger, no nothing.
Yeah, I saw that on your video. You were saying I didn't bring my iPad.
I didn't bring nothing with me because I didn't expect to stay, especially for 4 days. But we absolutely need to have some type of community whether it's, online like we are building, or even locally, having local chapters.
Yes, and we can get those local chapters to come together as a group, as an international, not maybe international too, because I mentioned earlier I'm in the DC area, and if we can have the local groups from the various different states maybe come together in conference in DC, where we go and present to the politicians, the people making the laws, to say, this is our stories. and we need the laws to change. We need things to be different. And honestly, I don't know how many of you are against and or for banning adoption. I feel like the only way to fix the problem is to ban it, because initially I was thinking, you know what, it's appropriate and okay for children with no mother and father, but once you allow them to be able to do that, people are gonna lie, they're gonna cheat. They will even steal children to put them up for adoption.
Well,
Absolutely. I bounce back and forth between.
like offend anybody, but it's crazy. It's so crazy, and it's something has to be done. But I do see a revolution happening very soon for everybody. Like things are going to get better across everything very, very soon. A shift is happening, and I hate to get into politics, but I'm happy to see what's getting ready to happen. Even though I don't really care for either party, I'm happy to see what's getting ready to happen, because there's a lot of stuff that's about to happen. Y'all just keep your eyes open. I promise y'all.
Yes, I think there's a lot of changes coming, especially to the adoption community. And so long as we keep putting our stories out there, people will be more awakened to the realities of what adoption is. And the reality is, no matter how great your adoption is, there's always going to be something that is negative about it. For example, the people that don't have open records. Even though I had an open adoption, I don't have open records. So that's a negative, and the people don't want to hear about the negative things. And until we're able to look at the whole experience as a whole and acknowledge the positive and the negative, it's just stupid. Because and the negative, it's just stupid. Because it's not just one-sided, all the positives. There's also the negative things that need to be changed also.
Right. I think for me, one thing that I would love to start really hitting home with is more regulations. Because, we see ICWA for Indigenous children to stay within their tribe, their culture, their communities. We need the same thing, the same protections for Black children. Because there is such a huge cultural difference. And it's so, even though, there's still issues, and I'm sure, Monica, you can attest to that there's still issues within same race adoption, you still going into a non-biological Black home as well. But the cultural nuances are still represented.
It is.
And I think we lose so much. And then on top of that, being put in homes, that negate to see color.